with the acquisition of Big Fix and has helped clients of all sizes protect critical assets while delivering greater value back to the business at a lower run rate. The name of the next presentation would be the new perimeter, keeping endpoint continuously patched, compliant, and secure. Please welcome Mark.
As you could tell from my accent, I'm from the States. Yeah, nobody's perfect. Thank you. Thank you. I want to share something with you on a personal note. My father, before he passed away, used to always tell me, you have to go to Israel, you have to go to Israel. And there was nothing that made him prouder the first time I came to Israel. If he were alive today, he would be so proud to know I just followed a major general as a presenter. He would be equally proud to know that I came to Israel 40 years to the day after I was bar mitzvahed. So it's very, very fun to be. No. Yeah, put the checks over there. No, thank you very, very much for your time. So I've been asked to talk about IBM Security, and we all know the name IBM. Yes, big company, 460,000 people. Yeah, big organization, larger than some small countries. We have made a tremendous investment in security. As a matter of fact, today, by revenue, we are the third largest security organization. I share that with you because we are making tremendous investments in this space through organic growth, through development, as well as through acquisitions. I'm equally proud to talk about the investments we're making in Israel. This is a very, very big piece of our business, and it continues to grow, and we can continue to help Israeli companies flourish around the world. The industry analysts are recognizing this. Not only are we successful with clients, but the analysts are viewing us as market leaders in various quadrants, whether it's in a SIM or it's security services or it's endpoint security. We are recognized as a leader or the leader in our respective spaces. Cybersecurity has become top of mind more so than any other technology we have dealt with, more so than when the internet hit, more so than when Windows hit. This is on everybody's mind, all the way up to boardrooms, all the way up to government officials. In the States, 50 agencies, DOD and others, 3-letter acronyms, 2-letter acronyms, no-letter acronyms that are very quiet, have standardized on various products. This one in particular, Big Fix. This is an endpoint security product that ensures endpoints, PCs, laptops, servers, stay continuously patched, compliant, and secure. 3 million endpoints today are using this technology with the promise of 8 million by the end of year. This is a government standard across North America as well as other organizations. The sophistication of the bad guys is getting worse and worse and worse. These are very, very smart, very, very well-funded individuals, organizations. They're using technologies that are as sophisticated as anything in the room, as anything that you've conceived. They're using one step faster, one step better technology. And they talk to one another, and they're sharing ideas with one another, and they're telling each other how to collaborate to affect us all. Everyone in this room is at risk of some sort of cybersecurity breach. So let's talk about some of the challenges real briefly. We'll talk about vulnerabilities, we'll talk about users, and then we'll talk about how challenged organizations are in fixing the problems that they find. If you notice on the board, these are some of the most prevalent vulnerabilities that have hit organizations over the last several years. What's scariest about these is the time it took to discover them. Years and years and years and years. From the time that hackers developed and installed these vulnerabilities to the time an organization finds out about them and vendors start creating things like patches and security signatures for them. The reality is that the bad guys, the hackers, are installing vulnerabilities and malware on our equipment, and we don't even know that they're there. There's another challenge that organizations have. We'll call them Dave. Dave is a user who gets an email and thinks it's very, very important because there's a link and clicks on that link. And the next time they go to access their corporate email, those credentials are stolen and misused. This is one of three actual reasons that hackers are so successful. Phishing schemes continue to be on the rise. 50% of people open emails unwittingly and click on a link within the first hour. Organizations, individuals, more and more are getting penalized and breached as a result of these. 23% are opening attachments. This continues to be a problem where organizations are suffering through breaches and not knowing that they've been hacked. If you think of patching for a moment, patching computers, this is a nuisance for Windows machines, but it's got exploits. And if you look in the first 4 weeks of any particular announcement of a vulnerability, it typically takes that long or longer for an organization to patch all their systems. It takes that long because machines are off the network. It takes that long because machines are down. It takes that long because organizations don't have the sophisticated technology to find and fix these problems. And that's where the money is for hackers. It's in that first couple weeks that it takes us in this room to update our systems. And then once those systems are infiltrated, the hackers are able to continue grabbing new information, continue doing damage for years to come. So what we wind up with is this element of risk from the time that we are updating a system, the time that we are applying a patch, the time that we are applying a remediation to a problem, to the next time that happens. That might be when individuals come back onto the corporate network. That might be when individuals get a new machine. The challenge here is this up and down element of vulnerability. And that's where the hackers are focused because they know that organization, governmental, commercial organizations, they know that they don't have the tools that are available to do this correctly. So let me share with you some best practices. What we typically find are organizations who are relying on antivirus software, anti-malware products, and they're relying on signature-based solutions. They're also relying on patches from operating system vendors. This is all well and good until the unknown hits and a piece of malware becomes available for which there is not a signature available yet. There is not a patch available yet. And so individuals and organizations need to fix that piece of malware, stop it, quarantine the device, patch that device, or reconfigure that device, whether there's a signature or a patch available. We also find individuals clicking on these links, and what we need are technologies that stop that malware and prevent the misuse of credentials. So if you go to your corporate email and you enter your information, you should not be allowed to use that user ID and password for another website. There's a paradigm shift that's taking place. My customers live in the world of real time. Gone are the days where you can wait for a scan to occur and all machines to be identified and inventoried and patched. Hackers aren't waiting. Hackers don't have change management cycles. Hackers are acting now. And so what we as industries need to do, what we as consumers of technology need to do, is be just as vigilant in identifying problems, finding and fixing them as fast as the hackers. We also need to get away from all of these different point products. One for Mac, one for Windows, one for Unix, Linux, one for iOS, one for Android. Surely there's a better way of fixing a problem than going to different teams and waiting for them to report. Is something there? Is Dropbox on your machines? Well, Dropbox runs on a lot of different operating systems. The question is, if somebody put malware in Dropbox, how many different people do you have to speak with to find that and fix it? Wouldn't it be nice if you had a single set of reports, a single set of tools that allowed you to do just this? Wouldn't it be nice if you could have a computer always stay current, patched, compliant without any human interaction? In other words, set a baseline configuration, and if somebody installs a USB drive that's not sanctioned, have the system disable that drive. What if you were to install an application on there and it's stomped on a DLL, and wouldn't it be nice if the system just corrected that action? Think of all the help desk calls you would eliminate. Think of the breaches you would mitigate. We're starting to see an alignment between the CISO and the CIO. This is very, very important because in the past, CISOs have not had the seat at the table or the funding, for that matter, to get the technology and the solutions that are needed to combat the bad guys. So the question might be, how, as a Chief Information Security Officer, how do I establish not only the credibility, but the business value back to the organization to solve the problem that I need to? Well, one of the things that we're starting to see is security technology that pairs up automation technology, and you now have the ability to not only secure the enterprise, but reduce operational costs in the process. And that's how organizations how CISOs are transitioning from service brokers to value brokers, where not only are they securing the enterprise, but bringing with it a contribution to the bottom line. We're starting to see organizations adopt these technologies. We're starting to see analysts support these technologies and offer their endorsements to them. As a result, what we find is no longer are customers needing to be in this red zone, but rather they can be in a continuous compliant mode with all of their computer endpoints, ensuring that they are continuously patched, ensuring that they are continuously compliant, and ensuring that they are continuously secured. With that in mind, I'll give you back in a minute and 37 seconds. I'm grateful for your time, and thank you for the weather, by the way. I greatly do appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.